Now, here's the thing. You can have multiple. You can navigate in multiple. You can go in and out of natural gifts. Some are going to be better than others or going to trump others. And you're going to be able to kind of navigate and see like, okay, I really like this. I really like that. But ultimately, they're going to help and fuse themselves with each other over time because of your experiences. If you can't operate in those, when you get to corporate America or you get to that level of picking a career, you're going to have to now navigate, do I want to be in this career? And is it going to make me happy? All right, welcome to another session of Visual Meets Vocal. And today's topic is a really special one. So in about a week or so ago, May 12th, quit my job on purpose. I was not let go. I was not terminated. I terminated myself for a few reasons. And the first reason, lower my seat. First reason had to deal with the dynamics in the environment. I was in corporate America for over 12 and a half years, almost 13 years. And one thing that I noticed is you do the same thing over and over again. A lot of it is mundane, depending on your position. If you're moving up the scale, going up, corporate ladder and all that kind of stuff. But one thing that I noticed is you can't really access or utilize your natural gifts when you want to and how you want to. You're usually stifled and put in a position where you only can use what they want you to use or what they need. So you're kind of boxed in at a certain point. The other avenue is me and my wife just had a baby, beautiful girl, Victory, and we wanted to spend more time with her. We wanted to make sure we could connect with her. And the dynamics of what the position was doing was the entire organization wanted everybody to come back into the office. Not a fan. We were hybrid. Before that, with COVID, everybody was at home. I was getting used to that because it reminded me of what I used to be doing, which was working for myself, full-time entrepreneur. And that freedom and flexibility was amazing. I did not mind working long hours. I did not mind starting early, starting late, staying late, and kind of navigating that environment. What I did mind was the area and avenue that I was in. At the time, I was doing graphic design, a lot of illustration work, and you get a lot of nitpicky individuals when it comes to what they design, what they want. So when you're in that environment of service, you kind of got to navigate that and kind of do it the best way. I had to get more insight about servitude and understanding what that really meant. And when I started looking at servitude, was a state of being a slave or completely subject to someone more powerful. But when you get to service, just bottom line, just serving, I'll say serving. Perform duties or service for another person or another organization. In corporate America, you're just performing a service. Well, they dictate that service. You might have outlined rules and responsibilities and roles related to your position, but the other issue with that is how you can flourish, navigate. Now you have annual check-ins and you have, monthly, if not quarterly, or maybe, mid-year reviews to see how well you're doing. Now, nothing's wrong with the year reviews and all those kind of things. I don't have a problem with that. The problem I have an issue with is how they do them and what the criteria is. Because if it's not related to your natural gifts, you're not going to flourish anyway. And you're always going to be behind, and you're never going to look and feel like you're doing your best. You're always going to be striving for something that's outside of your wheelhouse. So whatever position you have, that's going to dictate how well you do. But here's the thing, and this is why I left. Your natural gifts have to start with your desire, your dreams, and ambitions, and what you really want to do to service someone else. All your dreams and gifts and abilities and your natural gifts are to serve someone else. You will get something out of it, right? There will be residuals, there will be financial gain and wealth related to your natural gifts. When you strive for another gift that is not natural, you will get a counterfeit opportunity to do something that will not benefit the amount of people you can really impact by doing your natural gifts. So this is the construct that corporate America has designed, And most organizations have design because you can't flourish doing what you naturally do. Now, here's the kicker. When do you figure out and know what your natural gifts are? How soon? What position? How old were you? Like, when did you get exposed to see what they really were? And honestly, your parents have a big deal to do with that. And any guardianship or anybody around you, mentors, they have something to do with that. If they don't know what they're looking for, and you obviously don't know what you're looking for because you may be a child, it's going to be very difficult to pinpoint those natural gifts. So here's the thing. First and foremost, natural gifts are something that you can do that were innately in you, that you did not have anything to do with, and you can just do them well. You didn't create them. You didn't add to them. You just came out the womb able to do certain things. Now, when we talk about like singing and, drawing and things like that, you need a tool in order to access those things in most cases. But the majority of the time, if you're a vocalist, that vocal capability is already in you. You just can expound on it. Me as a visual artist, I can expound on it by using different media to bring that gift on display. So when I'm looking at natural gifts, here's some things that I looked at to give me more insight about what natural gifts really were and what gifts really were. And this is the thing. I made a list of them. I'm pretty sure there's some that I left off. Strategic, problem solving, analytical, deep thinker. Building, work well with your hands. Building in your mind, building environments, trying to create something out of nothing. Observation, really good with remembering and visual comparison. Memory, design memory, photographic memory. Processing information. Retention, being able to capture information, keep it in for a long time, and then actually give it back. Numeric memory, rhythmic memory, tonal memory, which is more like vibrations and tone and sequences. Pitch discrimination, or being able to reference specific perfect pitches and frequencies, and you can hear it and you know exactly what it is. Visual speed, so visual eye acuity and eye scanning and visual proficiencies. Verbal memory, so orators, somebody can say something, you could speak it back to them like verbatim. Learning, communication, physical attributes, so physical body attributes, so how you look, what you can do, what your body can kind of produce. Leading, so you're a natural born leader. That is a real thing. Like, you just jump right into the position of leading the group. Now, you're not doing it in a way that is like a tyrant or something like that. You just naturally know how to get the best out of people, and you can lead a group in order to function that way. And then being attentive. Now, here's the thing. You can have multiple. You can navigate in multiple. You can go in and out of natural gifts. Some are going to be better than others or going to trump others. And you're going to be able to kind of navigate and see like, okay, I really like this. I really like that. But ultimately, they're going to help and fuse themselves with each other over time because of your experiences. So if you're not exposed to a lot of things, and I'm talking about when you were young, it's going to be very difficult to find out what all natural gifts you have. Now, along the way, you will learn skills, and that's totally different. That's added information or capabilities to a natural thing that you're able to do, like writing or photography or sports. You have the function in your body to do those things, right? You might have the eye to capture good shots, but there's some people that's going to do it and they naturally know how to do it. That's the gifts that I'm talking about. If you can't operate in those, when you get to corporate America or you get to that level of picking a career, you're going to have to now navigate, do I want to be in this career? And is it going to make me happy? Meaning, am I going to find joy, admiration, and appreciation for what I'm doing? Or am I going to feel like I'm just going from day to day doing the same thing? That's where I was. I enjoyed what I did. Still do, right? UX designer. Like, I was a design lead. I was helping build internal applications. Problem was, the teams couldn't get along. Like, we had ideas, but then you have a lot of people dictating or too many chefs in the kitchen, and people are trying to navigate and be like, I want to do this, I want to do that, we shouldn't do this, and people were stepping on their feet. So it was a lot of things where when you deal with large organizations, if the order and the environment isn't correct and right, and the culture isn't right, you're going to have a lot of stagnant products and a lot of stagnant projects because you're fighting against something that should be fluent, and there should be fluidity within the team. because everyone has a role and everyone should enjoy what they're doing. Now, if you have some other people stepping on their toes and trying to, take other people's positions, or there's backbiting, there's, all of those little nuances that come within corporate and business, then you're getting away from the natural progression. And when you do that, it makes things just not fun, and you don't enjoy going to work. You don't enjoy being there. You don't feel like you're a part of the team. You don't feel like you're a part of the culture, or you're a part of the environment or the monster that you're trying to move, which is that large entity being that organization or that corporation. When you lose that, that's a clear sign it's time to go. The question is, how do you leave? And when do you leave? And do you have some type of plan about leaving? Now, I had a plan. I leveraged my 401k. I'm good, right? I don't have to worry about it. There's other people that don't have a 401k. So how do you do it? You now have to start looking at, do I save some money before I make the transition? Do I, grab something else that might kind of, be in between in the process? And why you do what you do within that process, like me, for instance, with 401k, I'm working on something because I already started working on something before I left. Now, it had nothing to do with the organization, so there was no conflict of interest. But what you are now looking at is, how are you going to navigate and keep that momentum? Well, it's easy to keep the momentum if you're doing naturally what you want to do. Now, it's harder to keep the momentum when you're doing something that is not natural, and you're now doing a counterfeit, because now you're looking at, what am I going to gain from it, rather than, I just really want to do this. I really want to see impact. I really want to serve. And that is the naturalness, if I could use that as a word, naturalness. The natural aspects and admiration that you'll receive, because ultimately whatever you have in you is supposed to be for someone else, or the environment that you're in, to produce quality. Mentorship, technology, still in UX, and toy design are the areas that bring me life, meaning I enjoy it. I can do it all day. I can design all day. I can navigate. That's what I love to do. I love impacting people, but I also want to see them succeed. And that's where the mentorship comes in. Technology, obviously, is ever growing. It's constantly evolving, which sparks my interest, because there's always going to be something you can solve. There's never going to be an area where there's not a problem. And even with a quality product, there's still going to be iterations. And when it comes to toy design, I love seeing something manifest out of an idea and become tangible, and then also have a backstory. You might have animation from it, and it can go in so many directions. Those are the areas that spark me. The question I have for you is, what are you willing to bet on? How are you willing to navigate to the next area in your life that brings you joy, peace? Because I had so much peace when I left, and it sounds so crazy. I never felt so much peace about transitioning out of a job, and especially in a time where people were like freaking out, telling me like, are you sure you just had a baby? And they're looking at the natural components. I'm looking at the spiritual components. What is really inside me and what I really enjoy to do, that's what I'm looking at. Fear factor is not a thing if you don't want it to be. But are you willing to subside the fear, move beyond the fear, and then just enjoy the process? And that's a part of the natural gifts. It's a process. It's not the end game. It's not the end goal. It's the process along the way to make that natural gift the best gift possible. Hope this blessed somebody. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Hopefully I'll have another podcast, me and my wife. But I just want to drop that nugget, let you guys know where I am. And hopefully if you are in the same direction, struggling, trying to figure things out, let me know. We can always brainstorm, figure out the next steps, and make your next steps your best steps. Peace.